to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. Big welcome back to my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here and for your consistent presence on my channel. Thank you to everyone who has reached out to me on Instagram, on Etsy as well. I've loved getting a chance to get to know you on a more personal level. So thank you guys so much for your friendship and for your support. And if you have found yourself here for the very first time, please join us. We would love to have you be a part of our beautiful soul community here. Please hit your notification bell, your like button if you enjoyed this video, and drop your comment below because I do offer a chance to win a free video reading from me to people who drop comments below my videos. Any video this month, drop your comment. Be sure to hit your notification bell though so that I can notify you and you'll be able to respond back to me. I'm actually waiting to hear back from one of my winners, so be sure to hit your notifications and check your notifications as well in case I have responded to your comment. For today's topic though, we're looking at someone in no contact from you. So this person could be very dear to your heart because we're asking the question, will this separation ever end? And what are their thoughts on no contact at this time? So we have 3 piles to choose from today. We have pile number 1 here, and I believe this is called Brit's Third Eye Tarot with the piece of malachite. We have pile number 2 with the Sante Morte Book of the Dead Tarot with this piece of refined coal or unrefined coal. We have pile number 3 here with the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and we have this piece of mica. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting today, and my timestamps are listed below as always. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Again, it's all about this separation. Will this separation ever end? And your person's thoughts on this no contact situation that you find yourselves in. Pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to this beautiful piece of malachite, which is really, really pretty. The camera doesn't do it very much justice. And this is Brit's Third Eye Tarot. And today we're looking at this separation on your mind. And we're looking at this person's thoughts on no contact. And will this separation ever end? So we're going to start with their thoughts and feelings first. And then we're going to look at the future of the connection and see if this separation will ever come to a close. So how does this person currently think and feel for pile 1 in regards to the no contact situation that they find themselves in? The King of Swords, he's coming out a little bit sideways too. It's like they haven't completely cleared you out of their system. They could be an air sign, an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, but they haven't completely cleared you out of their system, and they haven't come to any sort of concrete conclusions about whether it's ended, whether it's still up in the air. They're thinking a lot about the situation itself. And logic perhaps tells them it's time to drop that gavel. Even here, the gavel has a huge eye on it. So it's like their logic is telling them, their intelligence is telling them that it's time to clear you out of their system, but they just don't know how to do that. Or they're having a difficult time. We have the 6 of Wands. There is this essence too about appearances being deceiving because from the outside of things, even I feel like for your energy, it's like everything looks great, everything looks abundant, but there could be sort of a hidden energy underneath all of that. And they wonder too if you think about them. I feel like they're almost privy to your situation. You can see the Queen of Pentacles here. She's taking on many roles. And the Divine Feminine will often adopt so many roles. We'll put on many different coats of many colors. Motherhood, jobs, all sorts of different responsibilities fall on our shoulders. And so they may be privy to some of those responsibilities. And because this is a collective reading, that responsibility may look different to every person watching. You may be a parent, but you may not be. You may just be really focused on your coin and building up a foundation for yourself. But they see you as somebody who is really independent and who has a lot of responsibility at this time. And it's like they don't want to come in with any sort of clarity or information added to your plate. It's like I don't want to mess things up for you or cause imbalances for you. But there is this emphasis on them thinking that you're so capable. Like you're just, the way that you carry yourself, you make things look easy. You're not just beautiful, but it's like you're a triple threat. You just make things look easy. And that's a little bit intimidating sometimes. And they're claiming that as well. We have the Star and we have the 3 of Cups. They definitely want to see you again. They definitely want to see you again. This chapter of disconnect has not been satisfying for them. But they also wonder if now, they think that now may not be the time for you, specifically for the Divine Feminine, if you're the Divine Feminine watching. They wonder if they are going to cause some sort of chaos in your environment. And they wonder if you're going to even be happy to see them, because I just keep hearing that Selena Gomez song where she says, we don't talk anymore. And there's an aspect of like, I sometimes I think about showing up at your door, but I don't even know if you want that or not. But there is this question in their mind about how satisfied you are. If you are invested somewhere else, are you happy there? Are you happy in general? They wonder about these things in this disconnected period as well. What is this person? What are their thoughts on no contact from pile number 1, please? It could be an Aquarius. Here's the Empress. The one thing that they are not confused about is about this, the value in you and who you are. They put you up on a pedestal. You've been sitting on that same pedestal in their mind's eye for a very long time. There's also in this aspect of fertility and motherhood surrounding the Divine Feminine energy. So please take that as it resonates to your situation. And they're saying you're a bit of a temptation. And that love is still there. So this person is still very much invested in you emotionally. I feel like they don't react when they hear your name, though. I feel like they try really hard to turn their back on their emotion for you in this moment, because it's like they're trying to portray victory in life, but there's like an emotional loss that they felt. So if they've created abundance for themselves, that's wonderful, and they feel like they've claimed victory in many areas. But when it comes to their emotional investments, they feel like they now have to turn their back on that. And it's very disappointing for them. And this spark is still there. And I feel like that it's like they thought it would be a lot easier to clear you out. They didn't think that this would be the issue that it actually has become. And that's been kind of bittersweet in a sense, because it communicates so much about the truth of this connection, perhaps you being in the Divine Feminine position in the first place. But you feel really far away from this person as well. Even in a geographical sense, you feel really far away. And so it's like they do, and this 3 of Cups is about friendships coming back around and reunions and having fun and catching up as well, catching up on all of the details. But it's like I'd have to literally travel to get to you, and I don't even know how I would be received. And so I'm putting off what I want, which is clarity. And it's like I'm dealing with my own upheaval. It's like I'm just suffering through and dealing with it. Yeah, there's the 8 of Swords. And the World. But they definitely feel like there's closure issues here, that there's unfinished cycles in this situation that they either have to heal on their own or accept some sort of support, but they are acknowledging that they can't act right now. It's like they're waiting for the perfect moment, or they're waiting for an opportunity where they don't feel restricted, or where they aren't kind of overwhelmed by fear in that cycle, but they're afraid of making a wrong decision. There's the Judgment reverse. It's like, I'm afraid I'm wrong. What if this is all in my head? What if I'm not being logical? And that's why it's like I'm adding more fuel to the fire here than there actually is. It's like they're afraid that you don't feel the same way, or that you've definitely shifted gears and now you've stepped out of this independent cycle of abundance and you've moved into a different type of abundance cycle in your life, where now is not the time and there's no place for them. So they're really concerned about that in the disconnect, and they're afraid of making an error in judgment when it comes to applying the force that they want towards reunions with you, because they're thinking about talking to you. And I feel like this is not a new thought, because look at all the trees even planted in the background. It's like I've thought about calling you a million times over, but that fear wouldn't allow me to plant that seed. Because there's a difference here between this group of trees and this barren field on the other side. And so there's the 9 of Cups, somebody who is fantasizing about you, but they're acting very passively towards you. What are their thoughts on this no contact, on this separation? Their person's thoughts on no contact, please. I remember soul plan, fated life versus the destiny life. And it's like they're going through the motions of remembrance. They're very nostalgic when it comes to you. It's like all they have to go on is their memories because they don't know what to expect in the future. We have here double mission, starseed, serve the world by being you. And back of the deck says cracked open, surrender, rock bottom. It says surrender to the alchemy of life. And the alchemy is all about the temperance, about coming together, mixing together, wanting to sort of find joy in the journey. And they've surrendered to their position, but I feel like they've surrendered to their position because they feel like your position doesn't allow movement, or you wouldn't be interested in movement coming from them at this time. Now, the double mission card is a very interesting card to come out, and it always interests me because there's always multiple missions afforded to different lessons that we have. So this could be a soulmate contract. The Empress and the King of Cups really defines that for me. But right now there's like this double pressure on the connection. It's this pressure that this person feels to either hold on, hold force, and hold out hope, and keep themselves guarded in that regard, or to release this energy at this time too. What is pile one's person's thoughts on no contact at this time, please? Then we're going to look into the future and see if this separation is ever going to end in a few moments as well. They are keen on new beginnings, but they don't know how to achieve that right this moment. It says there is someone else, so please take that as it resonates to your situation. That won't be for everyone. And they are claiming, they wonder if you have someone else. That's something that's definitely on their mind. And for someone, they don't know for sure. They're just making some sort of proclamation. But I'm ready to fight for this. So they're like, if you are with someone else, how invested are you? It's like, are you happy there? Are you satisfied in that realm? I am a smug son of a bee. And there's the Nine of Cups here showing itself as well. And there's this feeling of like, they're uncertain if you feel the same way, but if you do, they're certain that you're in love. Like it's like very black and white with this person. I have been hurt so many times before. And the Four of Pentacles can really communicate a concern for the home, concern for investment, or a fear of just being rejected by you. And that is sort of an excuse that they're bringing up about why they didn't act in the past as well. It's like, well, you would have rejected me, or I was really afraid that you were going to reject me. But I do see things clearly now. So I'm trying this epiphany, and I want to bring the clarity into the light. They do want solutions. But here's the Tower. It says, I couldn't catch you because I fell too. So they're working on these epiphanies. Spirit's working on these epiphanies for them. But they're also afraid of creating that damage in your environment. They don't want to cause any chaos for you. What are their thoughts on no contact for pile number 1, please? I'm being driven by responsibility right now. It's like I'm not doing what I want to do towards you. I'm being driven by all of the things I have to do. But I am going to make contact soon. And they are keen on reunions and at least closure cycles here. They do want to make contact and communicate with you. It hurts my heart to hear your name. The truth is that I want you. This is a double side, and losing you is my biggest regret. I don't know how you feel truly. They're projecting. They're trying to make these proclamations about how they think that you feel. It says missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. But I know that it's complicated right now. And there's this feeling of them saying that they were overlooked by you in the past. It's like you saw right through me. I keep dreaming of the past. And back of the deck says cat and mouse game. So let's take a look at the future of this connection. Will this separation ever end for you, pile number 1? Will the separation ever end for pile number 1, please, Spirit? They are keen on creating some sort of clarity here. And they're trying to manifest that. And they're trying to muster up the strength mostly to come towards you and talk to you. The Nine of Pentacles. Separation ever end for pile number 1, please. The Moon. It almost feels like they're waiting for a cycle to close up. It's like they're intently waiting for an opportunity to pounce. And they're recognizing, because of practical investments, that now is not the time for them to approach. So they're not going to approach right away, but they're manifesting communication with you. The problem is that it's not just closure, Spirit says. It's not just closure here. It's going to rile things up. It's going to rile things up. I think that this person is going to ultimately see you again. We have the Three of Wands. We also have the Ten of Cups. There's clarity coming, which can offer us solutions to some of the upheaval that we're feeling, but there's still going to be obstacles here. And that's why the Tower is in connection with those two pentacles that are hanging imbalanced, like the Two of Pentacles. That's why they're delaying. They're waiting for an opportunity. They're waiting for a cycle to close out. And then I feel like they're going to come in out of the blue. I think it's going to come in quite suddenly for you when you're not expecting it, and you may not be prepared, and you may not have actually the space in your life at that moment. But I do feel like you will see this person again. In the very least, I feel like there's going to be communication that opens up, at least one more conversation in the future of this connection. Let's get a charm bowl. But we're going to be delayed, and there could be a couple of years for some here where we're going to be delayed. We have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. We have the Three of Pentacles, and it does seem to be a foundation or something practical that's causing that stagnation. And they, like, honestly, there's a sense of them really respecting that in you, like respecting where you're at, respecting your environment. They don't want to be that person, but they are still very focused, and they're protecting the connection itself as well. They could be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius here. Now the King of Wands wants connection, and he focuses enough, he gets what he wants. So this person has intention to come forward in some type of way with communication, and you will hear from them at some point. They don't like delays, the King of Wands, truly. But he doesn't have a choice. There's a sense of like, I don't have a choice right now. We have the Blue Lips, someone who hasn't been kissed in a while, or perhaps this has never moved into a romantic cycle, because we also have the Innocence of the Cherries. So this is somebody who wanted this to move into a romantic cycle, a physical cycle with you, and perhaps didn't get that. We have the Chariot with the horse, freedom. We always have a choice. We have, remember the Sabbath day, a commandment from the Bible. So it's somebody who honors perhaps the church. Also, it's about putting people on a pedestal. Find joy in the journey in the delays. We also have here the Fawn. I think about innocence and youth and friendship when we were young. We have the Black Whale of expression. Somebody who never said anything about their feelings, and now they're drowning in that emotion. In fact, you even got that card. It said, missing you comes in waves. Tonight I'm drowning. We have the letter C. We have the empty heart. We have the baby shark. It's the divine feminine. One of the big lessons that you may have learned in this connection is to take advantage of opportunity to increase your situation. We have the leaf of change. We have the connection written in the planets, planetary connection. So you may both be the same sun sign, for instance. We also have loyalty and friendship with the dog paw, but also an emphasis on dogs or pets. All right, pile one, that's what I had for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. And if it did, please drop your comment below. I would love to read for you. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. And if you do drop that comment, I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading. So I would love to read for you. So be sure to do that. If you have recently dropped a comment, be sure to go back and check your notifications, because I'm waiting back to hear from my most recent winner. And I will be dropping another name soon. So I also have other links below for Etsy for a personal reading, but I also have links down there for my stones and for Instagram, so be sure to check those out too. But I hope that you come back for a visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You are drawn to this piece of unrefined coal, or to the Sante Morte Book of the Dead Tarot, and this is your reading. Your person in no contact, what are their thoughts on no contact, and will this separation ever end? So that's what we're going to look in today for you, and we're going to start with their thoughts on no contact. So are they thinking and feeling with this separation that you find yourselves in? Then we're going to move into, you know, whether it's going to end, if there's going to be an end to the separation, if you'll see this person again. And what that's, we're going to tap into a little bit. We're going to touch on, you know, what what type of reunion it will be. So what are their thoughts right now on no contact? We have the Strength, the Leo energy, very strong. They are, you can see in this card that they're wrestling this Chinese dragon, and they're wearing masks, heavy masks being worn. And so there's this emphasis on wrestling with their own ego, wrestling with their own temptations, their own desires, and having to pretend like they're not in a fight at all. We have the Three of Swords. And they do feel like they may have hurt you, and they're worried about that. There's a concern that they may have left you with a bad impression, or they have hurt you in some way. And so there's almost an apology that wants to come forward, because they wonder if they're on your mind and if you're in pain, because they're claiming. And I feel like it's kind of them admitting their pain in a macho sort of way, because I feel like they don't want to admit that they're in pain. That's why they're wearing such masks, and they're wrestling with that so much, because they don't want to admit that they're in pain. But it's truly a reflection. If they're asking, are you in pain? I think they are in a lot of pain, because you're on their mind a lot too. And there's this emphasis too of saying that they were passive towards you. I feel like you were really passive towards them. And they're saying that hurt them. It made them so insecure that you didn't take action. And it hurts them that they didn't take action. It's like we hurt ourselves in this loop, this karmic loop. And they're starting to realize that their inaction towards you has only hurt them more and hurt you more. And they wonder if you're in the same boat. Because the truth is, they just said, I want to be in the boat with you. And so there's this sense of like you being put up on a pedestal, still in the present, despite the disconnect. They want to transition into clarity with you. And it would be sort of this dream that they have to have a reunion, to get a second shot. Here's the Ace of Swords. Because it's like they see the light. They see clearly now. They understand. They have the awareness that they didn't have back then, which is 2020. You know, hindsight is 2020. But they still are curious about where this could have gone. They're still curious about you, what you're up to. Here's the Ace of Cups, or Ace of Pentacles, and here's the Four of Cups. They don't know if it's possible for anything to happen in the future. I don't feel like this is the type of person that is like watching you, or like they may not be that type of person, because they don't know what's possible. And so they've decided they want to communicate with you. This Ace of Pentacles is somebody who wants a fresh opportunity. They want to communicate, but you can see that this skull is growing moss. And so they worry that they've created some sort of permanent damage here, and it's just wishful thinking. It's almost like they feel like they have to sit in their emotion and survive it. There is an acknowledgement coming from them where they feel like it's not serving them very well to continually turn their gaze to the past. They're looking in their rearview mirror quite a bit when it comes to you. And they are acknowledging that if I keep doing that, I'm just hurting myself more. It's like I'm just contributing to my own pain. And so there's this, that's why this Ace of Swords pierces through the skull, because it's like it stings a little bit that I feel like I have to transition, or I have to move forward, that I have to release and turn my gaze back towards that sun. Because the truth is that they're having a hard time letting go, even though they're telling themselves I should let go here in this disconnect. It's like they're struggling in it. But I don't know if you guys know Jan Arden. I'm a Canadian, so I know a lot of Canadian music artists, but I hear that Jan Arden song in my head that says, how do you cool your lips after a summer's kiss? It's like, how do you shake off that energy? How do I shake you off after you've influenced me so much? They're having a difficult time doing that. We have the Two of Swords, and they are kicking themselves for being passive. But they're also saying that you were passive too. It's like they don't want to take on that responsibility solely. They want to share it with you in a way here. But they're also saying that they may not be able to act in the present either. So this is a message that will resonate with you if you know that it's for you, because there's a sense of internal conflict that they don't want to extrapolate into the present. Like they don't want arguments within their realm, if they're invested in another relationship, for instance, if you are, they're not interested in conflict. They want to keep themselves protected from that. But that's the path of least resistance that brought them to this place. And there's an acknowledgement. They're not fully aware of that epiphany yet. That it's the same theme recurring with you and with all of their relationships, is that they take the path of least resistance. When they have an epiphany, when they have a truth that comes through, because they've had lots of time to overthink here. So they've come to certain conclusions. But when they come to those conclusions and they don't act upon them, it's just fueling them back into that cycle of inaction, of passive energy, of keeping themselves guarded. And ultimately, they're not just keeping themselves guarded against negative outcomes, they're also guarding themselves against this, against exactly what they want, their dreams coming true and their wishes being granted to them. Because this feeling of helplessness that they're infusing into their situation right now, it's not the truth. They're not helpless. It's just a belief. We have the Eight of Pentacles. It could been a workplace connection here in the past. We have the Death and we have the Page of Pentacles. There is an acknowledgement that they have in the disconnect, in this no contact situation, where they're saying that if I reach out to you, it's going to open up doorways of possibility, which I am looking forward to, but it also could potentially close out old cycles for you or for me. So they're taking a bit of a knee right now. That's why they're letting their desire, their intention to communicate, kind of take a back seat in the present moment. But they are keen on exploring you and their options, feeding their curiosity. That's something that they want in the future of this connection. And they're making plans. Spirit says they're making plans towards that goal. They're working on bridging a gap with you. So there's a really strong intention here for you, pile 2. We have the Hanged Man and we have the Nine of Pentacles. And you know, the Hanged Man is a certain amount of surrender to their position. I feel like they're working on what they can work on now. And even their higher self is working on this ego issue, working on them taking off their masks, trying to pierce through the darkness and pierce through some of what the ego is fueling at them. Because the ego is lying to them and keeping their head in the sand a little bit. But it's being worked on in the spiritual realm at this time. And this person does have this intention. There's this feeling of like, I'm not worried about it. They're relaxed in this state. They're not worried. She's not even in the shape of a 4. Normally the Hanged Man will be sort of in a shape where their knee is out, so they look like a number 4, which does sort of re-establish that concern, that fear of the unknown. But in this case, there's a relaxed energy because they're confident. There's a confidence in this person. Even though they feel helpless now, there's a confidence in this person that there's going to be some type of evolution here. They're acknowledging they're planning it. It's reversed. There's going to be delays in that plan being executed, but they're focused on you. There's a really strong sense of fire energy coming from your side, so you may be that Leo energy, because they are claiming that you are masks too because of ego issues or because of insecurity. And they're saying that you were lying to them in the past about your true feelings. How do they feel about no contact in the separation period, please? We have here Vine, seeking out information that will help you and triumph over troubles and obstacles. They're trying to stay focused on that goal. And there's this feeling of entanglement. You can see the vine winding around with these leaves of change. And I think there's a lot of confusion and they need that information, but I don't feel like they're watching you. We have here worry and depression that someone is against you. And they're not completely in that state of worry right now, but they may have come out of a depression episode. We also have Bow, because the fact is that you're still very highly thought of. They still care quite a bit about how you view them and about how they view you. And they still have a candle. It says you will be shown the way. They know that there's going to be delays, but and it could be because of a marriage. Here's the marriage ring or the ring card. They understand, they're respecting those delays, but... And again, here's gavel, involvement with the law. But they have, it's like there's a day of reckoning coming. That's what I feel. There's a day of reckoning coming. How does this person feel about no contact with pile number 2, please. We have here very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And then we have the wedding card. That's the third time that marriage has been mentioned. So please take that as it resonates to your situation. You'll know that if that is resonating with you. So they may be waiting for that to close out. They don't want to create havoc right now, but they are manifesting you. They're just trying to figure out the application, the steps, the practical steps with the Hermit. What do I have to do to explore this opportunity? Because reconciliation is on their mind. And it says someone from your past is returning to your life. And we're going to ask that question specifically from Spirit in a moment. But they do have very strong intentions towards you. What are their thoughts on no contact at this time for pile number 2, please? The person on pile 2's minds, what are their thoughts on no contact? I am forever yours. It's always been you. I can't come forward right now, but there is intention. I can't make the first move towards you at this moment. No one knows I still think about you. I did feel sort of a really strong exhaustion at the amount of effort they have to put out to keep their feelings for you at bay, or at least suppressed. I'm letting go of my past. And I replay everything that happened over and over in my mind. And that is the 7 and the 2 of Swords here, being that 9 of Swords, the ruminating cycle. We need to let each other go. I am becoming a better person, and they are working on a lot. Like I feel like this person's throwing themselves into work right now. They could be starting some sort of new business or something. It's like they're throwing themselves into some expectations or dreams, some goals. I bury myself in work to forget you because now is not the time. And they could be suffering from a depression. They're trying to work themselves out of it. I want to tell you how I feel. And I replay our conversations over and over in my mind. Back of the deck says, so many things are reminding me of you. They're very nostalgic when it comes to you. They're starting to understand this connection. They're not fully there yet. But let's take a look at the future. So will this separation ever end for pile number 2, please? Three of Cups. Friendship, reunion, celebration with the 3 of Cups. The King of Cups. This person, if it's a he, if it's a she, doesn't matter. It's all about energy. They intend to see you again. That is like it's like they intend to see you again, and they will. Spirit says it's going to take some time, so you have time to figure things out, to rest, to clear out clutter, to kind of prepare for this. The Temperance is encouraging you to find joy in your journey while you wait. But they say that you're going to, you can expect a sort of call or email or text or something that pops up out of the blue for you. You're not going to expect when this comes in for you. There's going to be a delay. But even that delay, I don't feel like it's years away, if I'm honest. I feel like this person, they're making practical plans even now. They're holding back because they don't know how they're going to be received. So they've taken a knee, but they're primed for this reunion. I think in this moment, they feel that helplessness, and that's why they're delaying it in this moment, but their intention is strong. And I do feel like this person will reach out to you. The separation will end. And what you do with that opportunity, we're ending with the pages, the Page of Wands, the Page of Cups. You know, this is an opportunity to start things up again. This is an opportunity to explore that option in the future, this connection. So it's what the two of you do with that opportunity that Spirit says will really be the seeds that plant for the future. Advice for pile number 2 in the bowl, please. Well, we have the Tower, the Justice, the 8 of Swords. I would be remiss if I said I didn't think the delay was caused by other commitments, whether it be in the work realm, whether it be in the home realm. They're just afraid of creating permanent upheaval or creating chaos in your life or their life now. So that could be why there is that delay in and why they're sort of relaxed into it. It's like, I've surrendered to that because I have a position that needs my attention. I'm trying to become a better person. I'm trying to bury myself in work for the time being. But there is momentum towards reunions here. Now, that may not resonate with every person. But the importance of tarot is to not make the message fit your situation, but to acknowledge that when something hits your core and hits your soul of souls and you feel it, that you know that that's your message. We have H and J. We have the rolling pin, I think, of domestic issues, needing to iron things out. We do have the King of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, face down in the bowl with the owl. So somebody who has a lot to say but isn't saying it at this moment. We have Gentle and the Tangled Heart. We do have the Moon, which is talking about our intuition, driving us to face the unknowns. And we have the Star energy. We have the Divine Feminine Starfish, and we have the Wing, looking at things from a higher perspective. Now, the Divine Feminine Starfish is all about healing from really pivotal losses. So you really feel like you lost a lot of opportunity here. You lost a soulmate, but it's a beautiful reminder of our wholeness, that that this person doesn't complete us, that nothing can complete us because we're already perfectly whole. All right, pile 2, that's what I had for you today. I hope that it resonates. And if it did, please drop your comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading. If you have recently dropped a comment, be sure to go back and check your notifications in case I have reached out to you. And I hope that you check out my other links as well for a personal reading from Etsy if you feel called to, or Instagram, for instance. But please come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You are drawn to the beautiful piece of mica here. Doesn't really do it justice. It's a very interesting element, isn't it, mica? And you are drawn to the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and this is your reading. Will this separation ever end, and how does your person in no contact feel about this separation? So we're going to start with their feelings today. We're going to look at current feelings and what their intentions are, and whether or not the separation will ever come to a close, and what we'll peek into what that community, or what that reunion, if there is one, will look like, if there is one. So let's start with their feelings. What are their thoughts on no contact, this person on pile 3's mind? How do they feel about the separation that is being experienced here? 9 of Swords. Oh, it's like all we have is time to overthink and worry and fear and extrapolate our concerns. It's like somebody who is filling in the blanks with their own negative expectations here. You can see that all of the eyes are upon them, so they could feel like they're under a microscope as well. So really having to suppress how they truly feel, but a lot of almost anxiety and depression coming in. How do they feel about this no contact situation? You have the 7 of Swords. First of all, they're not honest about how they feel about you in the environment that they're in at this time. And they could feel like they're under a microscope, so that could give us a hint as to what their current situation is. Their status, for instance. There is this sense of unused potential. If I just spoken up, if I just said something, if I hadn't overthought, it's like so much potential, and now it's like it's eating away at me. The shoulda, the couldas, the wouldas in this situation. And you can see she's grasping onto this egg. And she's made of all of this abundance of what could have flown out of that potential if we had just sat upon it, if we had just invested in it. And now it's really affecting that heart space. I almost feel like there's a sense of even her, as soon as I said that heart space, she's grasping the egg, and I'm looking at this person. It's like they have nothing to hold. There's a feeling of isolation and loneliness. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the three of Cups. I just heard that Natasha Bedingfield, I think that's her name, song, The Rest is Still Unwritten. I just heard that as soon as I opened up this page of, or this Ace of Wands with the book. It's like the rest is still unwritten. There's still so much unanswered questions. And there's just such a sort of fantasy surrounding the situation, but it's almost heartbreaking because they think about reunions and then it's followed by this heartbreak. And there's the Eight of Swords and the Page of Swords. This person, I feel like, could have a school connection to you, and I feel like they are trying to keep tabs on you. They may have even been they may have even almost been caught keeping tabs on you in some way, because now they feel like they're under a microscope. So this person feels like they can't approach you, even though they really want to see what could be next. What could we have missed? Could we plant new seeds? The spark is still there. The spark hasn't gone out. And so they feel like there's still potential there because the spark is still here. But they're like, I can't act on it because of my position. So it's like I'm left wishing, I'm left hoping, and I'm left with this heartbreak. Now, even the Three of Swords here for someone is representing potentially a third-party situation. And that's not for everyone, but you'll know if that's for you. But there's just, their empowerment has been shaken. And if they let overthinking get in the way in the past, they're letting overthinking get in the way now. Even though the spark is still here, they haven't really learned their lesson. They called themselves a chicken just now. Like, I was a chicken. We have the Two of Swords. Similar energies to pile 2, I believe, here. The Star of Aquarius. They could definitely be an Aquarius energy. They started out with air elements. And there's this feeling of like, am I wasting time? It's like they don't have the ability to commit right now, but they're like, am I wasting time? It's like, am I wasting time in my environment? Am I wasting time on this connection? Is it even two-sided? So they're concerned that it's not mutual. They kind of put you up on this pedestal, and there's a sense of them wishing for you, wishing on you, but it feels like it's wishful thinking. We have the World. And they want the separation to end just like you do. There's an element of friendship here. And this person did not want to maintain that friendship. They didn't want to just be your friend. There could have been a lot of heavy flirtation in this connection in the past. And I don't know why I just heard the term flapper. There's these like flapper girls in the Three of Cups. It's about going out and having fun and dancing a lot. So there's an emphasis on that they do want reunions. They want to celebrate with you. We have the Tower, but they are claiming that if they do, it's going to create a tower moment for them. It's going to create upheaval. The Tower can represent institutions falling, you know, the investment they've made in relationships falling over and creating permanent damage. And so they're like, I can't act towards you, but I hope that you'll act towards me. Here's the Queen of Swords, and here's the Page of Wands. And they wonder if you're still curious. It's like, do you even think about me? They don't think that you think about them in the same capacity at all. They think that perhaps you were curious about them, but you never took action. But they don't feel like you had the emotional investment that they have. I think they're wrong. But again, hindsight is 20/20, and we adopt the versions of the truth that we feel comfortable with in that moment. And so they've adopted that version of their truth. It's not the truth. It's not the essence of a thing, but it's their perspective. That you were just curious. And ultimately that you perhaps have cleared them out of your cycle, that you're not even interested in hearing back from them. So that's a part of this pain cycle that they're in. They're giving themselves excuses as to, I want reunions, but I know what I have to do to get them, but here's a reason why I can't. And it's a but. And as long as they're looking for excuses to stay here, they're going to find them every single time. But if they're looking for solutions, Spirit's also going to fuel them with solutions, but then they have to take the advice. They have to start taking those steps, and that's where they're feeling sort of stagnated and halted here. How does this person feel about no contact, please, with pile number 3? We have Candle. This flame is still alive. You will be shown the way. And we have Eagle, triumph over troubles and obstacles. Now, there's a definite sense of wishing for you, and the eagle is this element that brings our worries, our prayers to the Creator. And so there's a sense of them praying over this situation and hoping that they can get another shot. That's what I keep hearing, get another shot at it. But you can see even here with this Three of Swords, it's arrows. Arrows that are shooting into the empowerment rose here, into the heart chakra. So it's like they want another shot. We have Cobweb, protection against negative forces beyond your control. So you can see that the cobweb is surrounding these flowers. Flowers are a symbol of the renewals and romance that they want to see. But it's like they put themselves in this prison, and now the prison that they're in is imprisoning them from getting out of their prison. But it's like this big circle. It's like a big cluster of confusion and apathy and feeling helpless, when truly they have the ability to create change. We do have secret admirer, because I feel like they are watching your social media, trying to keep tabs on you in whatever way that they're able to. And we have here dagger, fear, worries, and tense situations. So that's what they're avoiding with the tower. They're sitting in their own pain and avoiding the necessity to act upon the epiphany that the tower represents, which creates permanent change. They're afraid of that because they don't want to create discord among friends or family. They don't want to shake up other people's expectations of them in this present moment. But there's this emphasis of like, but if you reached out to me, then that contact would be made, and then we could go from there. It's like, I can't act towards you, but you may be free to act towards me. We have here, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And there are a lot of red flags with this person, because I feel like there's a lot of attachments and there's not a lot of clearance for them in the future. So they want you here to perhaps make contact, but there are a lot of red flags for us to consider throughout this reading. And that's the purpose of the tarot reading, is to provide us information from our guides from a discernible position so that we can make choices that lead us to abundant outcomes. We have here, heart-to-heart conversations are needed. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And there is, I feel like one conversation could have cleared the air. One vulnerable conversation could have avoided all of this sort of upheaval. But we have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Now, there is this desire for reunions, but in the future position, we do have the Three of Swords and the Tower energy. So it'll be interesting to see what the future holds as far as reunions. But let's get a couple of message cards from your person. I've thought about surprising you with a date. And I feel like that was in the past as well. They thought about surprising you with their desires. I really do miss you a lot, and I've become a better person because of you. You've really changed me. So you've continued to influence them despite the disconnect that you've experienced. I really hate not talking to you as much as I want to. And the sexual thoughts that run through my mind are rampant, and they have a lot of concern for that exploration. They want to explore you in that way, and they've always been scared to say that to you. Back of the deck says, I do want to make things right with you, just please give me the opportunity. So they are communicating about delays as well that they may be expecting in the future of this situation. What are their thoughts on no contact at this time for pile number 3, please? Are you in love right now? Because I definitely want to be more than friends. And this card also came out with it. We were just kids when this began. Sorry, that's so dim. The lighting in that card is not very dark. I'm sorry, dependenship. I'm waiting for your call. Whenever I'm with them, I think about you. So if there's third party here, they feel like all the eyes are upon them, but they're always consistently thinking about you. And reality has definitely hit me like a ton of bricks. Back of the deck says, I lie about my feelings for you at this time. So this person is lying about how they truly feel in the present moment. But let's take a look here at the future of this connection. Will this separation for pile number 3 ever end? Page of Cups. Page of Wands. We have the 10 of Wands. I just saw the 9 of Cups. It makes them feel very vulnerable to reach out to you at this time. They won't reach out to you in the near future. I feel like because of attachments here. Page of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, but they will eventually. Right this moment, there's this sense of needing to surrender to their environment. And they're waiting for some sort of clearance, or they're waiting for some sort of sign perhaps from you. It's like they're waiting for the perfect moment to reach out. There is this fear of the unknown and fear of kind of what's waiting for me if I break free and give in to this temptation. But we do have the Ace of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, and I feel like this person could start with communication online with you, pile 3. So they may, and this may be a ways away with the Page of Pentacles. That can be upwards of a year away potentially. And even the Page of Cups can really speak about how it's going to show up at different timings for different people concerned with the collective here, because this is a collective reading, but it's going to pop in unexpectedly for you, out of the blue. But because of burdens and responsibilities on our shoulders and attachments, there's going to be a delay in that. And even after the communication comes in, there is the potential in this future of this connection that this communication could spur a lot more curiosity, and it could lead down a sexual realm. And so there's further kind of work we have to do before we get to, it's like communication starts, but it can lead to an emotional start. It can lead to an emotional start, and it could kind of take a pit stop in the sexual realm as well, sexual exploration. Right this moment, we have the Eight of Swords again as a back of deck. You can see there's a noose around their neck. So right now they're afraid of self-sabotaging their environment or your environment at this time. And they are privy to it, or they claim to be, because they're trying to keep tabs on you at this time. So I do feel like ultimately you will hear from this person, and that communication is the spark that leads to it more if you allow that to trickle down to more. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. Charm bowl, please. Ooh, we have the Fool. Sideways, we have the Ace of Wands. And we have the Tower. The Tower showed up, I think, in all 3 bowls today, but at least the pile 2 and pile 3 for sure. And there's this feeling of like, I don't want to create havoc for you. I don't want to create chaos for you right now. It's risky if I come, if I feel inspired to act, but I have to delay that action. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. There's a sense of a risk paying off for someone ultimately down the line. Because it actually has potential to move from the communication to the fire and into an actual emotional start. So we have all of the pages here. We have here I, and we have the bananas. I think about abundance in a financial sense, and I think about reunions and friendships. So somebody who's worried about their practical realm and their stability. We have a double-edged razor. So 2 people who are sort of on this, in the same boat when it comes to your practical position. Also like feeling like I'm up against a rock and a hard place. We have loyalty, friendship, and we have the Key, but there's a sense of like not wanting to be in a friend zone and feeling stuck in that zone as well. We have the Hello Kitty with the little guitar. I think of friendship and I think of strength. Empress energy, I think of motherhood, abundance, and somebody who puts you up on a pedestal. We have the shamanic feather. You versus you. We have the Bee charm, and we have live your dream. So for the moment, they've surrendered. They're staying put for the moment. But ultimately, they have a dream. They have a goal. And they are the only one that's sort of getting in the way of them implementing that change. And ultimately, there'll be this doorway for the 2 of you. And then it'll be a challenge upon you about whether or not you want to participate. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, please drop your comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. And if you have recently commented, be sure to go back and check your notifications in case I reached out to you to notify that you are the winner, because I'm waiting to hear back from my winner. But I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.